Knats, you played your first BBC Prom with BBC Introducing in 2024. What was that like?
It was really fun. Yeah. We got to play alongside some great Newcastle talent like Swan Neck and Diluted Juice. We're playing out in the foyer, and then we also supported Theon Cross in the main room, which was great. You know, we've listened to his music before in the past and stuff, and he came up for a tune as well. It was pretty epic.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was
awesome.
great. Yeah. Played 500 fills with him.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, since then you've been well busy.
Yeah,
You've released an album, A Great Day in Newcastle. What was the process of that?
Well, I spent after we did the first album was with Gearbox, and I just we weren't super happy with it. It was kind of more of a mixtape vibe where we got offered a record deal, and then the second album I was I want to rewrite a concept album, and I spent a lot of time just sat at a piano all day for a year, and then eventually it just took ages to put together. But the concept, was kind of there, you know, I wanted to talk about Newcastle, I want to do these stories, and I'm super happy with it, to be honest.
Did the concept you kind of went in with stay the same, or did it kind of develop into different things?
I think it developed over time where I had all these instrumental tunes where I had stories I wanted to tell, but there was no words to it, so it would be inspired by that story. And then when we had the idea for Cooper to do, I had this idea where he would do an intro monologue, and it would detail all the themes on the album, detail the themes from the instrumental tracks, but it would just be at the start. So it'd be a fairy tale, and you had the story, and then you watch the film, you know. But then he came and did this intro, and we're just oh no, it's just class, come and try this tune, whoa, Jackie, we had this other tune. And then he came and did that, and oh, come and do this one. And it just slowly developed where it was actually in the week of the recording when we already did that. And then by the end of the week, he was kind of on half the record, and it's now he does all the live shows, and the new music's got more of him, and it's just become this different thing, you know. So.
And I mean, you've absolutely smashed it from it, right?
Yeah,
you were just on Jules Holland. What was Jules Holland like as well? Because I feel like he's an icon of the game, right?
Yeah, he is. He's quite a nice guy, to be honest. It's he's got a really commanding presence as well. Just in the room, he's able to just even though the crowd is literally all the way up in the stands, he just has a way of getting them to, I don't know.
He's a charismatic.
Yeah, he's got it, man. He's done it for years. You can tell, you know.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing that show for 30 years.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics, but you know, 80s vibe.
Yeah.
You know. And then before that, he did the Tube. Do you know about the Tube?
Yeah, I do.
In Newcastle. Yeah. And I'd completely forgotten about that, but he loves Geordies as well. Jules loves the Geordies.
On tour winner.
He does, man. Honorary Geordie.
Honorary winner. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like I could sit here and just list your own achievements at you, but I'd like to know what you feel proud of. What have you done recently that you loved?
I think definitely the album is one thing I'm really proud of. And when I was writing it and when we were putting it together, I was this is going to be class. I do have the belief this is going to be class. So I think that's for me is our biggest achievement, I think. And then obviously, you know, Jules. Yeah,
Jules, and then
America as well.
America, kind of breaking out of just being a national band, you know, because being we've just I guess if you go back in time to a year ago or 2 years ago, we would only do shows around the UK. We never left the UK, and now we're slowly starting to break out into the European market and that kind of thing, and we're actually becoming a bit more well known, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's crazy. When we did Love Supreme just this weekend, we did it 2 years ago, and we were just no one knew who we were. We were kind of he's this new band on the scene. But this year, it was crazy to see. It's actual proof of growth. You know, people were coming up and being so excited for the set. Some people came from Newcastle just to come and see us play. It's crazy. Yeah. It was amazing. It was
epic. And I think it's just me and King, when we were kids, this has always been our dream. We've known each other for 13 years, and it's even when we were I don't know, 16 or 17, and we get a gig in I don't know, Durham or something, we'd be whoa, this is epic, we get to travel outside. And now it's just this thing where we're playing everywhere, and it's it never gets tiring, really. It's just crazy.
And it feels quite circle, right? Because the start of it was kind of Newcastle, and this year Gateshead, but it's a Glasshouse. And that's where the BBC Proms is going to be. And you have a good relationship with the Glasshouse as well, right?
Yeah, we do. We've done a few. We've been doing. It's always been our dream to kind of eventually get something set up in terms of youth education. We've done a few master classes there. We did one in May before our Cobalt show, and it was all the bands came. You know, they were obsessed with King, and they all brought the drumsticks, and and it was just such a special thing. It sold out, right? It was 50 people there. and just it was awesome. So I do love the Glasshouse. They're always up for whatever.
But I also think like a lot of education is like seeing people do things, and then you feel like you can do it yourself. So
That's
for
a
you
big
to be
part of it,
performing there is a win in itself.
Yeah, totally.
I think so. Yeah, I think like one of the big shocks for us moving to London was like seeing people who could like really play. Yeah, we thought we were absolutely class before we
and then you get
down.
humbled. I guess that's what you're talking about with the proms, like having like, I don't know, we didn't less so for Ferg, but Stan and I, we hadn't actually seen like a proper like jazz gig until we were like 18. And, you know, and like having something like the proms coming up to Newcastle is such a perfect opportunity to inspire that one person who might be thinking about playing like drums or guitar or piano or whatever. It's like going to see,
That's the dream, I guess.
I don't know, anyone like Nadine, and like seeing like the whole orchestra playing and be like, oh, I want to play violin one day. I want to do that, play at the Glasshouse in the big hall, you know. All that's like super important, like the representation of music and all kinds of music in Newcastle.
And for music lovers in general, if people are like, oh, you know what, I love going to a gig, but I've never been to a proms, I've never seen jazz, why would you tell them to get a ticket?
Don't know, try something different. I guess that's the only reason.
Geordie jazz.
Geordie jazz.
Get the caps out.
I was gonna wear that today as well.
What are you guys most excited about to do the proms?
I can't wait to go home and see me mum.
Yes,
That's one of the big parts of it. I haven't been home in a while, so that's going to be nice to go home and see me mum. Also to work with Nadine as well. My mum is a big fan, so it'd be nice to meet her and like hang out and work
Will she be in the audience?
Me mum, yeah, of course, yeah. She wouldn't miss it. I think she bought tickets actually. I never tell her to buy tickets, but you know, she was worried it was going to sell out, so she just bought them. So
green room is epic.
Yeah,
nice
the green room's
rider.
good vibes.
It just feels like home with, and it feels great.
Oh,
My last question for you is, what do you hope having things like the proms and the Mercury Prize and the Morbos is going to do to Newcastle as a music city?
well, I had a good chat with Dan, our manager, about this the other day, and I was thinking like it's exciting because like if you think about it, like Newcastle's never really had like a moment for music. Like, you know, Manchester's had the whole Britpop thing, Bristol had like Portishead, London's always, you know, whatever. It's like Newcastle's never had a moment, and it feels like the first time ever this is like Newcastle's moment. And like you can feel it's all coming together with the bands and the Mercury and the Mobile, and like it's like, I don't know, man, it's huge, to be honest. It's like a great time to be a Geordie, to be honest.
100%, yeah. Just hoping that domino effect will like kick on, and then just like more money starts coming in, and like more people start feeling inspired to get into music and start doing music, and then this becomes something that kind of carry on for the next like decade. You know, like people will keep creating, and there'll be more creatives and more space for people to create.
It's a knock-on effect as well. Like when a city has a moment, you know, it'll have the moment for whatever, like 10 years or something, but then that lasts forever. Like look at
100%.
Manchester's scene now, it's like not
Still
far
there.
off London really, is it, in terms of bands and that, you know, so.
Do you know what it's reminding me of, and I don't know why? Have you ever been to Tynemouth where they have that sign where it's like Jimi Hendrix went to this fish and chip shop? Like, it
It's
is
the
like...
first place he went to in the UK, wasn't it, Newcastle? Yeah.
Because of his manager, Chaz Chandler, that guy. Because he used to live by the coast, yeah.
But I feel like we're proud, right?
Yeah,
like, it's
We're
like,
very
100%,
proud.
yeah.
I feel like this, like, well, I feel like we're one of the proudest cities, like, in the UK. Like, if someone's a Geordie, they're very, like...
Yeah, rightfully so.
Rightfully so, yeah.
Definitely.